welcome back to a 1/6 scale figure review. Today is going to be the Tim Burton verse, pretty much, of Batman. It will be a quick little look at the original DX08 Jack Nicholson Joker and the brand new Keating 2.0. I might as well say it's going to be a semi-review. It's going to be me being a bit nitpicky towards this guy and talk about custom alternatives, what I'm going to do to make it more accurate and more durable. And yeah, with this guy in particular, I do think there are some positives compared to the DX09. And I do think Hot Toys have done some good things with this one, but there's just some really odd choices with other parts. It's very weird, this one. I think overall, aesthetic wise, it looks good from far away if you're not real up close to this textured suit. But yeah, there's just some really odd choices with what they did with this guy. I mean, if only we get the love and attention to detail they did with this guy here. You know, for people that don't know the history of Hot Toys, or not even Hot Toys, just figures and merchandise for Jack Nicholson, it's apparently very, very hard and difficult and expensive to get his likeness. Not just for 1/6, I do know NECA, for pretty much since NECA's existence, they've been wanting to do a Jack Torrance from The Shining, part of the movie Maniacs, and McFarlane as well, actually, that's McFarlane too. And they're just unable to get him just because how expensive he is. And Hot Toys were very, very lucky to get this guy. And I feel this is such a testament of how good Hot Toys can be when they desperately can only do something once and once only. We'll probably never see a 2.0 of this guy, but you know, we're constantly getting remakes of other characters, and I feel when Hot Toys are under the pressure to actually do something once and never again, they'll nail it like this guy. Oh, and just a very quick disclaimer, this guy's on a brand new body and padding, just because it is an old figure and it was getting really weak joints. And yeah, I just love the feeling of this figure now, and multiple other figures that I've done body swaps to. It just gives that heftiness back and it makes it just feel like a brand new figure. The padding I've put under this World Box body just makes it much more heavier. And yeah, I would honestly say this is probably their top 5 best figures. Unfortunately, I can't say the same with this guy, but there are some positives. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is get Jack out of the way for now and just talk about this guy here. Mostly about the body and the suit texturing detail and the materials used. Zoom a little bit closer to the head sculpt, talk about those. And yeah, if you guys do enjoy this, make sure you like and sub. And we get right into it. So I thought I would start with the head sculpt, and this is not the stock one. This is an alternative faceplate with the blood look. Pretty much accurate to the end of the movie when he's beating up Joker. But I chose this one because I do really love that scene, and the custom I do have planned, I do want to battle damage pretty much everything. And as well, I think it's the most accurate to Keating's likeness. I do think the other sculpts are not 100% great. They're fine, but I think this one's the much better likeness. And I think it's more the paint apps that are killing the vibe of the other ones. I think this one's fine. The other ones are probably a bit too tanned, and I've boxed them up and already packed them away, so I'm not gonna take them out. But I'm sure everyone has seen them, and a lot of people are pretty vocal about them. But in my opinion, it's the skin texturing that is the bad negative of those sculpts. I'm okay with him not having like the powdered look. Keating didn't always do that in Suit, and I think people have probably misremembered that he's constantly pouting. He's not really doing that a lot in the movie. He does it a fair bit, but not a lot. And I think Hot Toys have done more poster references with the other sculpts than the actual, film stills. But I think this one's fine. And like I said, this is going for the battle damage scene, and the diorama that it comes with also is from the battle damage end scene, which is probably the best part of this whole set. Got the gargoyle there, and the whole cobblestone look. It's kind of the original DX displayed square, just with chunks added onto it. Also, as I'm looking at it here on camera, the cape is not that bad. It's not the best, but it's nowhere near as shitty as the original one was. You can actually work with this one. I didn't own the original DX7, but I've seen a lot of reviews and a lot of in-hand, people I know have it in hand, and yeah, it's not the best, that cape. This one's fine. So now I've got the figure off the display stand, and this is more going to be the rant part, or the part where my custom theories and ideas are going to pop in now. And the first thing is the textured suit, or the too much texturing on the suit. There's just way too much. And the DX7 already had more than enough, and this is just pretty much overkill. And yeah, I think my plan, well, it's already a plan that I'm initially doing, is I've bought a old Japanese PVC model kit, and I'm basically going to just completely remake the suit. So I'm going to have the accurate fabric undersuit and Velcro the armor on top, similar to a Patterson suit and Bale in The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. That's pretty much what this suit should be, a fabric undersuit with armature glued on. So a good example is under here. You can see it is mimicking armature on top of something, and this part here should be all fabric. And obviously they have not done that. They've done this big massive chunk of rubber, which I'm not a fan of. Holding it in hand, it's much better than DX7. That one was just a gooey mess. This one's a bit better, but again, in 5 years' time, is this going to retain its strength? And I think for people that want to preserve this and don't want to go to the custom route, I think Mod Podge might actually do you some benefits with this. Also, Mod Podge might actually fill out some of these weird grainy holes and make it smooth finish. I do know a lot of the Alien Hot Toy collectors done Mod Podge customs on their Xenomorph figures, and I do know that it did heal a lot of like chipping and scarring that the rubber was getting. It was kind of like filling it out and smoothing it out again. maybe if you want to keep it in a statue pose and just completely coat this with Mod Podge, it might fill out these bumpy grains. It might. Again, it's no guarantee. I'm not really going to do that, as I'm just going to replace and get rid of the whole suit. The bout is another pretty big inaccuracy. It shouldn't be the same color as the emblem. It should be like a bronzy gold. So again, I'm going to fix that up. I might see if the kit version that I'm getting is a bit more easy to paint. Or a last minute thing is I'm just going to paint this up. Maybe give it a black wash to give it more of a bronze look. Also, as I am kind of moving the figure and articulating it, another thing that I should point out is the odd choice to have an actual figure body underneath this rubber suit, when they should have done something like they did with the Venom ones, where it's an actual endoskeleton armature. Because realistically, most people aren't going to do what I'm going to do and take the rubber suit out and take the human body and customize it. Most people are just going to keep it as is, and I feel, why not just do a whole metal armor suit that doesn't mimic a human suit like the Venom figures, so you can actually pose it and have it hold and retain its pose. Because this one is just it's very restrictive. It bounces back. You really can't do much with this, and going with the DX7 and the multiple other Batsuits that have this material, they weaken out. The body underneath just can't hold a pose for a long time, especially the DX7 and the Batman Begins suit. They're not good when it comes to posability. They don't hold a good pose. So it's weird how they just done an actual human body underneath. When, yeah, my personal opinion would have done just a big metal armature suit. And the Venom and the Carnage are probably the things that are popping in my head to get the point across. And just as I was panning down here to the base and the boots, which, by the way, the boots are pretty shit. He can't stand on his own really well. It's just a big chunk of soft plastic that doesn't seem to want to move the way you want to move it. And he's just very top heavy, and he can't really stand without a crotch grabber. And something that I do want to add here is, I would be very careful if you're going to keep this suit and not swap it out. I would be careful putting this all the way up, because I do know the Batman Begins suits get damaged by the hooks of the crotch grabbers, and I think they're very similar in texturing. This rubbery, semi-fragile material, and I would be scared to put this all the way up in fear of rubbing or destroying the suit. But yeah, just panning up here, I can't really complain about the head sculpt and the mask. I think the cowl's pretty good. And yeah, this looks like Keating in that really pissed off moment at the end. And I'm fine with having this sculpt as is, because this is my favourite look as well from the film. The more battle damaged look. Not really often you get to see Batman bruised up like this. And yeah, just my final thoughts on the 2.0 Keating Batman from the Tim Burton 89 film by Hot Toys. I think it's a decent figure if you haven't had the original one. I still think there are more positives with the original if you can find it in good standing condition compared to this guy. And maybe find this display base on eBay or any other aftermarket spot. I think if you're not as adventurous to go the custom route, I would personally say try and fish for that original one, because I do think it is overall better. But with, OT Customs and Saxon and all those guys, all those customizers doing head sculpts and body replacement stuff, I'm sure you can probably build a more accurate ultimate version of Keating in suit. Again, if you're willing to spend the big bucks for those. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. I'm pretty much going to get ready to dissect this guy once my custom parts come. And I will definitely do a follow-up and a custom video on that to show you the process. In the meantime, I do have Griffith from Threezero from the Berserk manga coming on its way. And that looks like an awesome piece to review too. Full die-cast suit, so I'm really, really excited for that guy. And to put in my Berserk display. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like and sub. And I'll see you in the next one.